Tommy was known for one thing among his classmates and teachers: his constant habit of forgetting homework. Every morning, like clockwork, he would scramble to copy someone else's work before the bell rang. His friends, out of kindness or perhaps annoyance, often obliged and let him write down the answers just in time. Some teachers were oblivious, others turned a blind eye, thinking Tommy might have better days ahead. But he never changed his ways, dependent as he was on the 11th hour rush. One chilly October morning, Mrs. Henderson made a surprise announcement. Class, there's going to be an important project due next week. This project will count for 50% of your term grade. Everyone's eyes widened, including Tommy's. His mind worked in overdrive. Surely he could find someone to help him at the last moment, right? The week flew by, filled with other distractions. By the eve of the deadline, Tommy hadn't even started. Frantic, he called every friend he could think of, but they were all busy finalizing their own projects. Desperation set in as the reality dawned on him. No one could save him this time. With a heavy heart, he sat down and spread out all the materials he needed. He knew nothing about the topic, but he had no other options. He worked through the night, eyes burning and fingers sore from typing. Researching, outlining, drafting, and finally editing, each step felt like a mountain he had to move. When dawn's light peeked through his window, Tommy felt a strange sense of accomplishment. The project wasn't brilliant, but it was his own work. The next day, he submitted his project with a yawn and a sense of relief. Mrs. Henderson noticed the dark circles under his eyes, but said nothing. A week later, she handed back the graded projects. Tommy hesitated to look, but finally mustered the courage. B+, it read. He couldn't believe his eyes. It wasn't an A, but it was far better than he'd dared to hope. More importantly, it was a grade earned from his effort alone. From that day on, Tommy made a promise to himself. Relying on others might save him in the short term, but the pride and satisfaction of doing his work were worth much more. He began planning his assignments and found himself paying attention in class. Slowly but surely, his grades improved, and so did his sense of responsibility. And thus, the boy who always relied on the kindness of his friends learned the invaluable lesson of self-reliance.